sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Breakfast Bankroll for Thursday, January 13th, 2022. We are blessed. We are great. It is Thursday. That means we are honored for his second appearance on the Breakfast Bankroll from the Windy City. This guy has more energy than the Energizer Bunny. This guy has it all. He has more info, I think, than covers and some of these other guys that are just spitting fire. But this guy is spitting fire and cashing tickets. And we are blessed and honored for him to make his second appearance of many in 2022. This man, if you're not following him, hit the follow button. And after this show, follow him on his Talking the Line podcast with our friend Riley Magnuson as well. But from the Windy City, the one, the only, Mr. Colton Soroka.
You talking about me? I'm busy trying to look for the guy you're talking about. I just want a few minutes to hang out with him. Hey, beyond grateful, beyond blessed. It's been a week already. I'm already back around the bend here, back on Breakfast Bankroll. Jeff, time flies when you're having fun. Honored to be replacing the legend, Mr. Scott Webb, on this side of the screen here today. As always, shout out Scotty. We'll get into a lot of stuff here today, my friend. College basketball is haywire. If you've been involved in any means whatsoever, maybe a little sprinkle here, a little dash there, it's been absolute nonsense. But my friend, I want to set the vibes here today. I come to you on this show wearing all black. And some days you don't like the board, and in the words of the legendary Big Cat, you say, you make the board love you. So that's number one. But number two, I come wearing all black because of one reason and one reason alone, Jeff. And that is to mourn the death and bankrupting of every single damn book on the market that we are about to pose here today. And I can't wait to get into it. So as always, thank you for having me on, my friend. Can't wait to have a show.
Well, we talked off air for a quick couple seconds, and we're going to dive into college hoops. We're going to talk about how hard it is on a daily basis, because it doesn't matter how much work that you put into this. For us at ECSI, we haven't been able to close out a game. We either win box to wire, or we have not pulled off the last-minute free throw, the three-pointer, the walk-off. We've been on the wrong side of so many games, which, again, the difference between going 4-0, 3-1 versus 2-2 and 1-3, those start to add up. Yesterday, we were blessed. We come out of the gate with UCF. And now that game flip-flopped, where Memphis -2, UCF -2, and then we caught them +2.
Yep.
We had Georgia Tech +2. So both dogs won outright. And then I went against the public, and the number just looked too big. And I had UConn -9.5 last night. And I know the Johnnies, that number opened at 11, and that was way too high of a number. I know that was way too high.
Right.
It went down to 10, bought the hook to 9.5. It was 60-50 with about 4 minutes to go, and here come the Johnnies. UConn misses 11 free throws. They give up a bazillion offensive rebounds. And then in overtime, they get an 8-point lead. 18 seconds, Johnny missed a three, get the rebound. If we get the rebound, we're going to get fouled, have a shot to land on 10. Instead, they give up a basket, and the rest is history. 2-1. Hey, we're 6-2 for the week. We're very happy where we are. Let's talk hoops. As I said off the air, for ECSI, we use Don Bess, we use Sports Insights, we use WagerTalk.com, we use Pregame. We use Ken Pong. We peel the onion back, and back. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I talk about the square peg in the round hole. We're pulling our hero. Look, I am bald. Okay? I'm telling you, by March Madness, I'm going to have a toupee or something up here. So walk us through what you're going through, because I feel what you're going through.
Man, I tell you, it has been all over the map. I know we talked pre-show. Yesterday's, there were a couple of lines yesterday that really intrigued me. And it seems to be that it's intriguing a lot of our cohorts on gambling Twitter as well. But LSU opening up as minus 2.5 point favorites. And then completely by tip-off, flipping to +3 underdogs. I mean, I don't know the last time that you've gone to a sports book and they have said, "Hey, here we have a team at minus money," and then wait about 2-3 hours. We're actually going to have this at positive money, and this team's going to win outright by double digits. Just hang out for a little while. We'll give you better value soon. I don't know the last book you've walked into and they've done that for you. Ain't doing it to me, so I see that line movement. I actually caught the Gators early on the money line before the complete flip. It was still at minus 1.5. So, wow, I can see this line ticking up. Sure did. Didn't fall in our favor. Can't close out games either right now. I've had a rough week. I think that coming on the old breakfast bankroll, reuniting with ECSI, I think it kind of started my scuffle. I had that bad Thursday, Friday, Saturday I got back on the right track, Sunday pretty solid, and then it's just kind of been a wheel spinning, scuffling, weird kind of a week start here, but I am ready to rock and roll here today. I got a couple of mid-major games I have my eyes on. I'm ready to dish out for you too, but as far as peeling the layers back, you talk about that peeling the onion back. Man, oh man, Ken Palm, covers, team rankings. And hey, thank you for saying I dish out content as good as covers. I appreciate the hell out of you for saying that, my friend. I'll talk a little bit about something I'm going to start doing in the afternoons here, my CBB afternoon report. I'll get into that here in just a second. But yeah, I use so many different things and cross-check numbers and make sure this number's right. And maybe almost to an extent, Jeff, here early on in the season, we're giving ourselves a little bit of analysis paralysis, if you will. Get a little bit too deep into the numbers. Maybe we need to stay a little bit more surface level. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm talking out of my ear. I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. Jeff, I love college basketball. I'm going to ride the highs. I'm going to ride the lows. But right now, it is a weird time to be a college basketball bettor. I'll tell you that.
And you talked about LSU, Florida. Do you know that got steamed up? Their money line was like minus 168 by tip-off. And I'm on the phone with a lot of clients, and like, Jeff, are you seeing this? Now, it was the Gators was the team of desperation. They came in, lost 2 in a row in conference. At home, they needed that. Okay, but as I said to you on your timeline, Billy Donovan isn't walking through that door right now. And you know, I'm a huge Gator supporter back then when they won the 2 national championships. This is not the same team, and this is not even close to the same team. Sunday, same thing happened to us. Sunday night, Wisconsin opened up a 1.5 favorite. Maryland goes to 1.5 point favorites by tip-off. And for me, when I'm involved in these games, 1.5, even 2, I like to take the money line. I like to get the points out of play. Just win, baby. Just win, baby. Money lines are creeping up from 115 to 120, 30, 40, 50, 60. I'm like, whoa! I mean, what the hell is going on here?
I don't understand it. Like I said, I don't know the last book that has made it easier for a team to cover or more valuable for a team to win outright for you. Hey, just hang out, sit in the book, maybe spend a little extra cash, buy a beer or two, and then, hey, come back, place a ticket. You'll make even more money later. I don't know. I don't understand it. But what I'm trying to do to help us all become better bettors, help us become winners at the end of the day, and try and combat some of this nonsense that's happening. And I know you're going to do that. I won't have any spoilers here with a show that you got upcoming. Can't wait to hear a little bit more about that. But what I have done is, I love to write. I got my UFC blog every week. It was my first love. It's what got me into this industry is writing. I had the daily newsletter. I just love it. So I got back to the blog and I said, what can I do college basketball wise? I claim to be this mid-major king. How can I provide some value to the people? So every afternoon, depending on the size of the board, depending on what I got going on every day, between 1 and 3 o'clock, I'll release it right on my Twitter, or if you just subscribe to my blog on talkingtheline.com, it's right on the homepage. You can just go right there and just throw in your email. I will never send you spam, nor will Riley. You will only get our insights. I don't know why I have to say that every time everybody thinks that. I don't fucking like spam. Why do you think everybody else is going to like spam? I'm not sending it your way, okay? But that's besides the point. I digress. between 1 and 3 every day, I'll send out my afternoon CBB board report. So basically, what I'm doing, I did this yesterday, and a lot of people gave me some good feedback on it. So I'll drop in my best bets of the day in there if you miss them. I'm going by money and bet percentages. So I'm dishing out what the sharps are playing, the games that the public is loving, some games that if there's not enough action or maybe the splits aren't available where I'm looking, or a couple other spots I'm looking, I'll list those games as well. I'll list the most valuable totals, whether it be over or under, per kind of what the sharps are playing and what I appear to be what the sharps are playing. Yesterday's trends, which I'll come back to that here in just a second. You guys need to know about that. And then games and players to watch. I'll always list that too, because I think that more people need to get involved in loving mid-major college hoops. They just don't know who UNC Asheville is against Winthrop Eagles. They don't have a clue, but I'm telling you, that game's going to be a shootout and a half tonight, and you're going to be enjoying it as much as you would a UNC and a Kentucky game. You just don't know who the teams are. But back to that yesterday's trends. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. From the blog yesterday, the sharps, and what I deem the sharps, 55% of money or less. In the public, 65% of money or more. It kind of takes a little bit of the sweet spot is that 55 to 65. Like, what really does that mean? Is that a combination of publics and the sharp? Really, what is it? But then again, in the wise words of sportsbook consigliere, nobody knows shit. The parallelograms, the sharps, the rhombuses, whatever you want to call them. However, the sharps, 11 and 13 ATS yesterday, 46%. Public 8 and 3 against the number. That's 73%. Away teams went 24 and 19 ATS, 56%. Away dogs 21 and 14, 60%, and home dogs went 5 and 3 against the number on the day, 63%. It's haywire. Tuesday, completely different. Home team's back in action. It looks like the students are back in class. They're back in the stands. There's more home supporters. It looks like home court advantage is going to be more important again. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't matter again, Jeff. I have no idea. I have no idea. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. I am but a humble messenger and try to provide the most value that I can.
Well, you talk about mid-major games. I talk about this all the time. I really listen. When there's 136 games on the board, like a Saturday, the casinos, Vegas, whoever you want to call them, they can't be pinpoint on every game. So the smaller games matter. They listen. They might get hit. They might have a bad line, but they're only going to get a hit for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30K. And there might be 18 on one side and 7 on the other side. So they take a $10,000 hit. But if you got a Kentucky Auburn game tipping off at 2:00 on CBS, you might have a couple $100,000 on that game. So those numbers are going to be a lot sharper. So if we had Auburn -2 and they had 100,000 on Auburn and 100,000 on Kentucky, well, they don't care who wins, because at the end of the game, they just made their 10,000 on the juice and then enjoy the game. So to dig deep, like you're saying, mid-majors, I don't know the name of this team. I don't know their mascot. I don't give a rat's ass.
It's got value. It's got value, baby.
I say this every day. We don't bet logos. We don't bet names on the back of the shirt. We bet numbers, guys. Numbers.
Ooh, it's been a while since I said that on my daily show. We don't bet teams and storylines. We bet the real numbers on the boards. Come on. And you know what? Unfortunately, maybe that's been my problem. Maybe that's been old Colt TTL Sports' problem here. He's been playing a little bit too much into the storylines. Maybe we need to pull the reins back just a little bit. And I think I did today. Found some numbers here that are a little bit fishy to me. I'm playing some numbers here today for sure.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna pull the board up.
Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him, Jeff. Don't do it to him. Holy shit. Here we go.
All right. From our friends at Wager Talk, wagertalk.com, free odds. Go over there. Follow us along. I'm going to pull the board up right now for Colton. I am going to enlarge this right now so everyone can see.
Drum roll, please.
And what I will do, sir, is if you can, let me go backwards here for a second. All right there. So if you can
Yahtzee.
start by saying the rotation number, I'll put the arrow to it and you can go away, brother.
All right, my friend. Let me see if I got it on here. 773, 774. That's going to be the VMI Keydets against the Mercer Bears. That's right. That's right, my friends. We're going to the SoCon to start things off. You say, what the hell is a Keydet? What the hell is a VMI? Well, that is the Virginia Military Institute, and a Keydet. Yeah, you can kind of put two and two together. They're not a full cadet, they're just Keydets. So we got the Keydets. We love Keydets. They're not junior level, though. They're still top notch. They got one of the best scorers, centers in the nation. He is averaging about 18.6 points per game. So look for him to make a difference. But a couple of key reasons as to why I love this game jumped off the board at me. Because in the past, Mercer has been this SoCon just absolute wagon, left, right, and center, regardless of position you put them in. And this year, it's kind of been the opposite story, even on their home hardwood. And I think they're being a little overvalued here today. I think they come out a touch weak against the Keydets, and that allows the Keydets to build an early lead, one that I don't think the Bears can overcome. They might be 5-1 straight up on their home hardwood. This game is in Mercer, 5-1 straight up, but they are 2-2 ATS at home. I don't know if you passed your elementary math class, but the last time I checked, 5 plus 1 does not equal 2 plus 2. That means they've played a few teams that are a little bit over, or that did not have any spread set. So again, furthering my point that these Bears are a little bit overvalued here today. Something that I do not think VMI is. They're actually coming off back-to-back losses, back-to-back SoCon losses. I do not see them making it 3 in a row. The first one was at ETSU. They lost 79-80. So even if that is the same thing here today, we got the 1.5 backing. We're good to go. And then they lost UNCG 56-72. They just didn't show up shooting-wise. It was one of those one-off games you get from every college team. They just seem to not be able to knock shots down when they have in every single other matchup. They've been dominant away from home, 3-5 straight up, 5-2-1 against the number on the road. And these Keydets, actually, in the last 5 games, they've been cooking right along. 4-1 ATS, their last 5 games overall. The Bears, 1-4 ATS, last 5 games for them. A couple key things here, statistical-wise, for you stat lovers out there, if you don't believe what's going on inside of my crazy-ass head. VMI does hold an offensive edge, 77.8 points per game for the Keydets compared to the Bears' 72.1. VMI is 129th in AOE, 10 spots better than Mercer's 139th ranked in adjusted offensive efficiency. I say AOE, ADE for short there. And then they're 91st, the Keydets are, in effective field goal percentage, 105th for the Bears. Look for Jake Stevens, that's that center I was talking about, 6'10 big man, 6'11 big man. He might almost be a 7-footer. I'd have to go back and look, but he's averaging almost 20 points per game. He's dominant as all hell. And also look for Camden Kerfman to be another key contributor for the Keydets here today. I also think VMI's defense shows up. 67.5 points per game allowed. Mercer's 71.2 points per game allowed. Defense travels. And if they're going to be defending anything, it's going to be the 3-ball. Mercer does not shoot it all too well. 121st in the nation. VMI defends it extremely well. 29.1%. That is good for 38th in the nation. VMI actually shoots the 3-ball pretty well themselves. 75th in the nation, and that's going up against Mercer, who defends it at a 34.4% clip, 263rd in the nation. So, little bit of stats, a little bit of here's what I see. I love the SoCon. SoCon is one of my favorite conferences in the mid-major conferences. Probably outside of the Big Sky, those would be my 2. But hey, if you don't believe me, you don't believe the stats, believe the trends. VMI 7-1 ATS last 8 overall. 5-0 ATS last 5 road games, 11-4 ATS last 15 following a straight-up loss, 4-1 ATS last 5 following a double-digit loss at home, and the Mercer Bears 2-6 ATS their last 8 Thursday games. Seems to be the old Bears go out for Whiskey Wednesday at their local tavern and don't show up all too well for Thursday afternoon games. A little bit hungover there for the Bears, so we're taking the Keydets plus 1.5. First best bet for me today. I got 3 coming at you, so we are zeroing in on some solid value.
And when you were talking the defensive numbers there, what kind of jumped out to me that I wanted to ask you is with those numbers, you have an under over a 147.5, which
Ooh,
seems high.
seems
So,
really high.
so with that being said, who the higher total, which team would that benefit?
I would say VMI because in this underdog spot, they have really showed up. And I said they cashed some tickets for me already this year. And in the dog spot, I would say they are the more valuable team. So I think it benefits them. I'm actually surprised. You mentioned defensive numbers. There's two final defensive numbers that I find really interesting. VMI is 280th in adjusted defensive efficiency per KenPom. Mercer is 297th. So maybe that's why it's a little bit of a higher total. However, VMI 62nd in opponent effective field goal. Mercer is 292nd in that exact same stat. So if anybody's going to get a key stop here or there, I think it's going to be the VMI defense. But again, that's a wild total. So maybe we see it. Maybe we see it fly over. But I think this one stays under. I really do. I think this one stays under.
All right, so we have VMI plus 1.5 as Colton's first
Ooh,
best
love it.
bet.
Love it. Down to one in some spots. Playing around at two, back down to 1.5. I love it. I love it. There you go. There you have it.
Game number 2.
Mm-hmm. Game number 2. I am going to trying to find it on there for you. There we go. 789, 790. That is going to be FAU, Florida Atlantic Owls, and the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. And we are going to the home team once again here. Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Looking across the board there are a couple fours, looks like, on the market. Where'd I go? There we go. 3.5 for the most part, but those 3.5s are getting the juice. It looks like the fours still getting the juice too. Looks like you got to pay a dime and a nickel, get involved at the 3.5, but I really like it at the 3.5. Couple of key reasons. This is going to be a quality Conference USA matchup. You might not know too much about FAU and Middle 10, but this is going to be a damn good game to watch. I think it's a little bit of a setup game for FAU. They haven't played really any quality opponent recently. They played Marshall, who's kind of been scuffling, and they did win that game. They played High Point, who's not really good at all, and they lost that matchup. Florida Tech, I don't know if you can point to where that school's located on a map, but I sure can't. VCU, they lost that game, so quality opponent there. I'll buy into that. But then also, can you tell me where Palm Beach Atlantic University is? Because I have no earthly clue. So I just don't think FAU has really played that quality opponent where Middle Tennessee has. They have been a wagon, and they're just on a little bit of a hit that bump in the road, if you will. They lost their last 3 games, but they're 1-1-1 against the number. However, relax, hold on, everybody cool out. 3 solid teams with those losses. Chattanooga, Rice, and UNT. 3 damn good 2 Conference USA teams, and Chattanooga is probably my favorite SoCon team out there. Outside of that, Middle Tennessee has been a wagon. I simply don't see them losing 4 in a row, number one, and now they're back on their home hardwood. It's hard for me to see them not absolutely laying the hammer down, winning this by 6, 8, maybe even 10 here today. Couple of keys as to why I believe that. I said it last week, Jeff. Didn't get an opportunity to say it with any of the teams I was taking. I think Middle Tennessee is going to boat race the Florida Atlantic Owls. 65th in adjusted tempo for the Blue Raiders. 276th for the Owls in that same stat per KenPom. I honestly think that Middle Tennessee is really going to control both sides of the ball, but with them being at home, I think their defense is really going to show up, and it's going to get us stops when we need them to and allow them to really pull away and elongate that spread, if you will. So 67 points per game allowed for the Middle Tennessee defense. 64.3 points per game allowed at home, 144th in ADE, and 166th in opponent effective field goal. Just a quick comparison to FAU, they're not even on the same wavelength, 223rd in ADE and 276th in opponent effective field goal. I've got burned because of some of these young guys like to go to the charity stripe and get a little cocky and throw it off the top of the backboard or do some goofy stuff. So it's one thing you really need to key in on, especially once we start to get into the 5th, now 6th, 7th, 8th conference games that these guys are starting to play, these teams are starting to get into. Free throws matter so much. Middle Tennessee, 73.1% from the charity stripe. FAU, 65.7%. I like Middle Tennessee to knock down those free throw shots when we need them to, and FAU to miss them to allow that spread to elongate even more once again. But you don't believe me on all of that. Believe the trends. Middle Tennessee, 10-2-1 ATS last 13 overall, 3-0-2 ATS last 5 following a straight-up loss, 4-0-1 ATS last 5 following an ATS win, 6-0 ATS last 6 home games, and 5-3 against the number their last 8 meetings with these Florida Atlantic Owls. I love them in the favorite spot. You know me. I rarely like to lay chalk, regardless of if it's a point, 3.5 points, or 11.5 points. So if you see me laying chalk, you better get Prevy. Second best bet of the day, Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, -3.5.
Looking at this game from afar, seeing some opening numbers, obviously a 3.5. It has crept to 4. We talked early in the show about the flip-flopping, some of these lines moving. And what's really hard for us, especially right now, is the COVID issue. So when you get like a big steam and a big line movement on some of these teams, I start to worry. I start to scratch my head. And then I'm like, is a key player out? Is 2 key players out? There's a game early tonight, Butler and Georgetown. And I know last night they came out and said that, Pat's not going to be there to coach. Georgetown just coming back off a long layoff. And we had them the other day. Unfortunately, they did not cover. But my point on this is, are you now on a spot with a game like this where you're not going to see a boatload of action and you've already seen it go maybe from 3.5 to 4? It's a buy now, or are you willing to sit and see which way it goes?
I honestly would buy now because I think that this one could steam up to 4.5. It could, but that's a big capital COULD. I'm not sold on the fact that happens. These teams are honestly really evenly matched. I think the people that know, or I guess that you would say the experts that know enough about this game, I think they're going to be looking at that road dog like, oh, a valuable road dog. Away dogs did really well yesterday. And the way we've seen it, I said it earlier on in the show, things have just flip-flopped. Home teams, away teams, dogs, favorites, and I think this is one of those games that Middle Tennessee needs to get right. They're in a good spot in Conference USA. They can definitely make a run, at least in the regular season, definitely in the postseason too. But I would say buy now for sure. I don't think this one's going to go back down at all, especially on such a low volume game like Middle Tennessee and Florida Atlantic. I don't think it's going to go back down for sure.
Okay, so that's 7 p.m. tip-off, rotation number 790, Middle Tennessee State. Currently 4 across the Bay Strip with our friends at Circa, Westgate, and South Point. Good morning, gentlemen. I hope all is well out there.
Good morning.
And to our buddy, the SIG himself, Mr. Dave Sharapan, who I would say is sleeping, but hell no. We know he's been up for 3 hours. He's already got a pot of coffee in. Hey, Dave, if you're listening, don't be afraid to give your buddies a call over here later today. But he's probably got 25 shows in between.
No, so. You better believe that. You better believe that. And yeah, only 1 pot of coffee? Come on, it's 9:30 Central. We're talking at least 3 by now. That man is rocking and rolling by this time of the day. Shout out Consig. Appreciate the hell out of you. I got one more for you, Jeff. You ready for it?
Hold on. Let's sound the bells.
Uh-oh. He's got sound effects. I love it.
Number 3.
My friend, I'm going to have you just roll that cursor up just nice and easy like right up to that position number 788. A game that you just mentioned just a second ago. I was hoping your eyes would get that big when I said in reference that I am going to this matchup. It stinks to high hell to me, Jeff. I cannot lie to you, my friend. I'm looking at some of these lines here. There is one book, it looks like, on the market right now offering that -2. Some spots even have it down to 1. Some have flipped Butler to the 1.5 point favorite. Oh boy, Butler's starting to flip now. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, my friends, in that case, me and the legendary Jeff Dawson, we talked about at the top of the show. In cases like this, when you're seeing line movement, you see the +1.5, the -1.5, the yada, yada, yada. Yes, I caught Butler +1.5. I love Butler in this spot. I will explain to you. Don't run away from the show. Hold on, everybody relax. But in this spot now that it has flipped, depending on your book, if you can still catch the point, absolutely. But 1.5, whatever. But in this instance now, I would definitely say buy into the money line. Now, this is not necessarily a fade of the Hoyas, but you said it just a moment ago, Jeff, that old Patrick Ewing is not going to be present for this game. This is a very important Big East affair, and put a pin in that. I'll come back to that as to why it's so important, as to why he's not going to be on the court here today. Now, Georgetown, in my mind, inconsistent at best. You said you had them. They didn't cash that ticket for you. They were on the long layoff. They still really haven't had a game since that matchup. So it's been a little bit of inconsistency here for the Hoyas early on in the season. 6-3 straight up at home, but 5-4 against the number. So regardless of where you put them at so far this year, they've kind of struggled, and I see that continuing here tonight. Butler, one road game, 1-0 straight up, 1-0 ATS. That was against a Big 12 opponent, the Oklahoma Sooners, and they won that game outright as underdogs in overtime, where dogs go to die, 66-62, away from their home hardwood. And they get Bo Hodges back here today. Little did you know, he is a double-digit scorer, and he is a transfer from one of my favorite SoCon teams, the ETSU Buccaneers. So it's all coming full circle here. Gave you a SoCon play. Now we're into Big East. It's all coming full circle. I've been waiting to see him make his debut for Butler. I can't wait. He's a double-digit scorer. He's going to be a money man here today, especially without Patrick Ewing. Take the pin out. Let's talk about that again. Now, you might say, they got a good assistant coach. It's okay. They're on their home hardwood. It's no big deal. They scuffled a little bit, and I don't think this team is experienced enough to not have the presence of Patrick Ewing on that court when the going gets tough tonight. And if the books are putting this at 1.5, the going is going to get tough more often than not. Georgetown is ranked 318th in experience per KenPom. Butler 199th. I just see it being hard for the Hoyas to stay poised when some of these 6-point runs go on, a little 6-0 run. I could see them easily just falling apart at the seams. The wheels fall off of the wagon, and all of a sudden the Hoyas are down by 12, and you're saying, what the hell happened? I typically wouldn't be back in Butler in this spot. They've been a little bit weird. They've been a little bit scuffly. But, man, oh, man, there is no other reason for this line to be set as it is and for it to be flipping if they are not going to be the ones to take care of the job here today. Number 2, tempo. Tempo is going to be huge. Georgetown loves to run. I do not see that happening here today because they're just not going to have Patrick Ewing in their ear constantly, consistently. 25th in the nation in adjusted tempo per KenPom. Butler, 348th. I think Butler slows this game way down, controls both sides of the ball, and there is nothing the Hoyas can do about it. Butler defense is also what shows up in this game and what wins them this game. They're only allowing 62.6 points per game, 85th in ADE, and they might be 215th in opponent effective field goal, but Georgetown is 231st in opponent effective field goal, 168th in adjusted defensive efficiency, and allowing 74.6 points per game, 12 points more a game than the Bulldogs. I know they haven't been solid. I know they haven't been dominant. But the doggone Bulldogs are in a spot right now where you have to take them. Ewing not on the court, the inexperience of the Hoyas. It's going to show here tonight, and it's one of those matchups you got to take advantage of. Last but certainly not least, you thought I'd come without a couple of trends? You're out of your doggone mind. Georgetown, 1-4 ATS, last 5 following an ATS loss. 1-7 straight up last 8 January games. And Butler, 5-1 straight up last 6 meetings with Georgetown in the wonderful state of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Outside of that, I love the Butler Bulldogs. Take them on the money line if your books offer them as minus money, favor money, whatever you like to say. If they're still giving you the 1.5, in case any funny business, I always like to take the 1.5, but if I'm saying take the money line either way. Take it all the way. I love it. Butler wins this one outright.
7 p.m. tip-off. Rotation number 787. The Butler Bulldogs, again, opened at 2, currently -1.5 across the Vegas Strip. If you're at WinBet right now, or you have access to WinBet, you can grab Butler plus 1.5, like Colton did. Otherwise, he suggests if your book or shop has it minus 1.5, please take the money line and just win, baby. Correct?
Just win, baby. Just win. Yeah, what's the other one on there? Heritage. Yeah, it looks like Heritage is the only other one offering them still at offering the Hoyas as favorites.
Yes,
Yeah.
at
Okay.
Heritage. Heritage is the other
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I would be comfortable in any spots. Honestly, too, if because I see it very, very rare that they're probably going to now at this point with most books across the markets flipping it, going to offer the plus 1.5 at dog money on the money line. I'm imagining that's going to be like a minus 112, 108 situation or a 114, 106 kind of situation. So if you're in with me on this game, which I suggest you should be, this should be a sweat and a half, a fun game to watch too, and a fun ticket to cash. I would say just take the money line all the way. I think Butler takes care of it. Most any other time, I think this would be a rebound for all Ewing and the boys. But the scuffling continues just for the time being.
I know you have a show. I promised to get you ready
Hey,
for your show. Last couple nights, we've had some great conversations back and forth on the timelines. Myself,
sure
yourself,
have.
Riley, our buddy, Mr. Lucky. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and by the
Shout
way,
out.
hell of a show with Bernie, by the way.
Shout out to the legendary Bernie Fratto. We got in there and I didn't really know what to expect, right? I had researched the guy. I had read some stuff on him. Epic storyteller. This, guys. The guys always talk about, oh, I'm an epic storyteller. I this and that, and you get to listen to their stories. And okay, give me a pillow and a blanket. I'm out of here. I'm done. Had me sucked in from the word go. I mean, absolute electric factory, nuclear power plant. Drop an A bomb on the Wise Words podcast and watch it blow. I mean, Bernie Fratto, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're watching, you're tuning in. I know you're going to be here on Friday. Absolutely electric show on Wise Words. And speaking of Wise Words, you've been on the show over there too, my friend. We had an electric episode with you as well. So hey, don't discount yourself now out there.
I had to get that out there because we're excited for tomorrow. Of course, Bernie Fratto from Fox Sports Radio will be taking your spot just for a brief moment, and going to be spitting some fire, some stories. We'll be talking some wild card weekend as well.
Mm,
Where I was going with this is we talked to some futures, and of course, Auburn was the talk of the town a couple of days ago. And again, they were as high as 2,800. We caught them at circa at 2,200. We told all our clients and family members, hey, get a little piece of the pie here. Bruce Pearl, Jabari Smith. I'm infatuated with that.
buy stock now. Buy stock now. Please hammer the shit out of that kid. Oh my gosh, they are hooping over there in Auburn.
And listen, if you buy shares now and you get to the Final Four, you have plenty of opportunities
Mm,
to get out or at least make some money on the other side. And if they win this weekend and everything breaks away the right way, they will move to number one, which maybe isn't a good thing.
sure.
But you brought up a team that I wanted to just quickly bring up before we close here that's been out of the radar for a while. And they are a wagon. You talked about the Arizona Wildcats.
Damn straight. Damn straight. Honestly, Jeff, we're live on the airways. We're live on the Twitter now. I wasn't gonna say it, but honestly, they're my early favorite to win the tournament outright. If anybody's gonna knock off the Zags, it's gonna be Arizona this year. I don't know. There's something about that Gonzaga team that they've been quiet. They've been knocking off the teams. They've been doing the things they need to, and I just don't think that they've had the strength of schedule necessary when we get to tournament time to be that consistent Gonzaga. Not to say that they're not going to be in games. Of course they are, and they're going to be electric affairs, but I think they're going to lose by those baskets, those 2 points, those 3 points, because we all remember the visuals from last March Madness. Suggs, it wasn't, I can't remember his first name. Suggs standing on top of the scores table after swishing that beautiful three, arms out. Look at me now, absolutely gorgeous. That's right, I play for Gonzaga University, baby. Look at the Bulldogs. I don't see that happening again this year. And if anybody's going to knock them out from that side of the country, I think it'd be Arizona. And man, oh man, right now, if you buy into them right now, they're at plus 1,800. So you're getting them 18-1. That seems to me doggone good value. I mean, I'm not a betting man or anything, but $10 to win you 180 sure seems like a doggone solid value to me. I mean, just a quick little bit of math, 20 for 360. I mean, you got an extra $20 bill burning a hole in your pocket. Sure seems like some doggone good value to me, but you did mention Auburn, plus 1,800 as well. Both of these teams, I think, are right under the radar, and they are in a perfect spot. I'm going to be really interested to see. Shout out to my partner, R-Mags. You'll have him on here tomorrow afternoon. I'm interested to see what ends up happening with Illinois. They are way down there as far as outright winner. Oh, that's right. We are. Totally just had a brain fart. I am in Illinois. I can't bet on Illinois college sports. How about that, Colton? There you go, buddy. Get with the program. Here we go. Bright eyes, big smiles. Bright eyes, big smiles. All right. We're awake now, Jeff. It's all right. I've only been on the show for 43 minutes. I'm really interested to see what they do. Let me know. Actually, tweet that at us since you guys have access to that. What Illinois is at right now as far as like kind of Final Four and the national championship, all yada yada yada. Because I don't understand that. I guess in closing, I don't understand why I am not allowed to bet on my own in-state college sports. I do not understand. I guess I can kind of understand the casino one because it's pretty easy to get a little out of control with that from time to time, for sure. But it's easy to get at control with sports investing. If you don't invest in it, if you just throw random bankroll out there, it's the same. It's the same thing. So, I guess if any lawmaker, litigator, anybody out there is hearing this on the airwaves anywhere in the Midwest, please, for the love of goodness, I want to be able to bet on the Illinois State Redbirds. I'm a Redbird. I want to roll birds. I want to sweat my birds out to the pay window. I want to be able to bet on U of I. I want to be able to have the fun. So, thanks for giving me the floor for my soapbox, Jeff. I'm just so tired of not being able to bet on Illinois sports. It just hurts me to the core. I want to be able to bet on them to come college time, especially if I can go an hour and a half down to the State Farm Center and watch a game live.
Well, at Circa, they've posted, where are we here? Illinois plus 2,000.
Okay, so right around in that same ballpark of the teams we've been talking about here today. So these next, so they would be right after UCLA, kind of per the FanDuel Sportsbook, plus 1,800 for UCLA, and then Villanova's at plus 2,200. So right in that ballpark, I'd see them following. So that's really interesting. We got, we sleep in May. CC John Rothstein. We got a lot of ball here left to play. Trust me, believe me. There'll be a week or two where you scuffle from time to time, but we got plenty of ball left.
All right, this is your wrap-up. This is where you tell the fans where to find you. And I know, hey, Riley, we're getting him off in a second here. Don't worry, he's on his way. So take it away, my brother.
Caught me mid-sip of some high-quality H2O. But as always, appreciate you having me on, Jeff. It's always my pleasure to come on, talk some nonsense with you, drink some coffee, get the vibes flowing, a little bit of breakfast bankroll going for everybody out there. Follow me. You see it down there at Colt TTL Sports. I guess I've never really shared it with you, and I've never had it on Twitter. You can spell my last name Sroka, so it's just got an extra O in there. But either way, I've seen it butchered way worse than that. Sroka, Soroka. But either way, I've seen Z's and U's and L's put in that thing, and it's just like, where'd you even come up with that? How'd you even come across? I don't understand it. An extra O. Come on, that's easy money, no problem, no harm, no foul. Follow me and my partner, Riley. You can find him tomorrow. You'll see it down there, but at RMAX TTL Sports. And then at Talking the Line, we got the show that Jeff just mentioned, featuring Bernie Fratto every week, every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Wise Words podcast features another wise guy in the sports gaming industry. We get their knowledge, insights, and everything in between for the world of sports gaming, sports media, and beyond. Got our daily show kicking off here in about 14 minutes, so you'll see me live on that as well. So follow us on over there if you want some more insights, analysis. My partner's got two plays he's dishing out today. Again, not the best board today, but we got a little bit of value to dish out. We think we got some ticket cashers for you. And then every Saturday, you know us, we love college basketball. We love college football. College football, unfortunately, is over. But college basketball, every Saturday, we get up 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Have a cup of Joe on campus, or maybe a pot of Joe on campus. Either way, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Come kick out or come hang out with me and our mags. We talk everything, the entire board for the daily collegiate slates. We break every game down, game by game. The value we are dishing out, the value that we're kind of or the value I guess we're kind of avoiding, for lack of a better term, and then games we still have big question marks on. So that's kind of all the content we got. Again, CBB Afternoon Report. Follow me on Twitter. I'll drop that every single day, or just subscribe to our blogs at talkingtheline.com. We will never send you spam. Don't know why I always have to say that, but we will not send you spam. Outside of that, stop by talkingtheline.com. You can see all of our stuff. Thank you for the platform, Jeff. Thank you for hanging out with me, having me on today, as always, and forever grateful that our paths crossed, my friend.
Well, I know I'm kind of interested of the temperature and the mood for Riley. I was going to bring it up here today, but I obviously, we could talk for hours here, but I know you're booked here. Last night was supposed to be a special night. The buzz was back. It was that feeling, and I was listening to the background. And now, and the stage was set. We're back, and we're going to show the world we're back. And the Nets said, hell no. And again, I wasn't bringing it up because I knew we were going to talk college, and I know you guys are going to talk about it. It's one of those kick in the where's where you finally got back to where you want to be. And the Nets made a statement. They said, hey, I don't think you want to see us in the playoffs here, but
Hey, that's okay. That's all right. One off here or there. Even a blind dog is right twice a day. That's okay. No problem. I'm still seeing red so hard here this morning. I'm not off the train. It's okay. No harm, no foul. Maybe they did come in. They said, hey, here's what an Eastern Conference team looks like. Hey, that's okay. That's all right. No problem. We got a little bit of nuts and bolts to tighten down, a little bit of nonsense going on in the locker room. Maybe we trade this guy. Maybe we don't. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. Who knows? We get all that cleared up. We'll see y'all in the playoffs. We'll take you to 7. I'm fine with that.
From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Colton Soroka with no extra O, I am firing the secretary. We are taking applications, by the way, at Talking the Line.
Sound like my graphic intern.
At Colt TTL Sports. Everyone wagering today, always wager with your head, not your heart. If you have a problem, pick up that phone. There's an 800 number there. Ask for help. Why? Because we care. We want you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, the rest of 2022 and beyond. Always, always, always wager and invest responsibly. Have a blessed day. Cash some tickets, and look for Colton to go 3-0 and be back with us next Thursday. Follow him up on his show in exactly 10 minutes. Riley, he is on his way.